Hello, everybody. We're back for another episode of the Uncanny Spirits Club, and I'm back to having some beers. I know it goes back and forth. I think what I'm going to do, I'll have done it long before you see this, because of course I record these way ahead of time and then they're broadcast, I don't know, somewhere down the line, whenever. But I'm going to make a separate playlist of just the beers so that you can see everything in the main playlist, all like the spirits and everything. But you can also, if you're not interested in hard liquors or anything like that. You're just like, I just want to see if you got any good beer. Then I'm going to have a separate playlist just for all of the beers I have done over the length of time. So by the time you see this, that'll already have happened. So you're going to be like, okay, why are you telling us now? It's already done. But because I'm recording it now, because time is strange here with my recordings and broadcasts. Okay. So, yeah. So what do I have? I have a beer. Now I've tried something from this company before. I don't remember if it was part of my IPA series or not, because remember I was doing a series. I still am technically, just far between because I don't like IPA clearly, and it hasn't changed my mind much. It's finding an IPA that doesn't suck, and I don't remember if I included this in that or if this was standalone as part of the regular Spirits Club. Not this specific one I'm going to drink tonight, but the one from this company. The company was Three Floyds Brewing, which is an interesting name right off the bat. And the one I tried, I bought strictly because the packaging looked really awesome and the name of it. It was called, I think it was Space Station Middle Finger, which don't be offended. It's just all in good fun. It was based off of like Warhammer 40K, if you know what that is. Um, but also a little bit of like Alien Space Marines kind of stuff. It was a Space Marine vibe, which is why I bought it because I thought it was kind of cool. It didn't taste great. It was an IPA, and normally I wouldn't have bought it except for the packaging. The packaging was just like, and they had two different things that I looked at from them this time. This one won out because it wasn't an IPA. They also have a Conan, not the late night talk show host, but the Schwarzenegger Conan the Barbarian themed one called the Sumerian Brew or something like that. Sumerian Brew. Um, and I think that's a double IPA. And I was like, I like the concept I got. I like the box art. But do I really I want to give it another IPA? So I looked at it and I went back and forth. And I looked at a little farther down and I saw this. And I thought, this is going to be it because this is not an IPA. And it's also something that's kind of connected to my interests. This is Speed Castle World Ending Pilsner. I haven't had too many Pilsners, honestly. They're not bad all the time, but I mean, and it's got this big, gnarly, robotic head on it. Now, the box, which is still in the fridge, I'm not going to bring the whole box in here because I'd have to bring all the cans in here. It shows what I assume is the Speed Castle. It's a big, let me get back on screen here, the Speed Castle, so you can see my quotation marks and I can fly away. Um, it's like a mechanical, it's a transformer, basically. It's like a transformer. And as you guys can tell, that's exactly what I'm into. So, once again, I bought it mostly because of that, as opposed to because it might actually be good. But because it is a Pilsner, which is closer to a lager and farther away from an IPA, that might be something I'm actually going to enjoy. I hope so, because it's a 6-pack, and I have 6 of these to drink now. So, yeah, this is the Speed Castle World Ending Pilsner. It's a modest 5.6 alcohol, 5.6% alcohol per volume, so not really too hefty. It's got the Three Floyds little skull bat logo thing.
Oh, that's cute.
Um, and it says it's not normal down at the bottom in upper and lowercase. So, and that's like a black can and everything like that. Like the presentation is great. I love the presentation these guys have for everything I've seen from them in the store so far. I didn't like the IPA because I don't like IPAs, but I did like the presentation for it. And I like the one on this, and I like the one on the Conan one. And I may still try the Conan one just for the fact that it looks awesome, but it's probably going to be terrible. But, you know, so we're going to give this a try. This is a Pilsner, like I said. And it's not often that I get a Pilsner. Smells like a lager. Smells like a beer. Kind of sweet. Kind of citrusy. I'm hoping it's not too much like an IPA. It's looking pretty light going into the glass.
Oh, that's really light.
But let's see what it turns out to be once I get it in my gullet here. Splash myself. Oh, splashing myself all over the place. Add this like the last little bit. Now I made a mess. Now I'm going to smell like booze. It's not an official taste. It doesn't count. It tasted more like me than it tasted the alcohol. Okay. I don't like to waste it, even though I've just dumped half of it on myself. Heavily carbonated, as you can see. A lot of bubbles, a lot of action going on in there. It is darker than an IPA. It is closer to a lager than I thought initially when for pouring into the glass. You guys are going to see it on the camera there. It's kind of orangey. It's not really like that in person. In person, it's more golden.
Mm-hmm.
It smells kind of like an IPA, though, which has me a little worried. But it doesn't look as much like an IPA. So I'm holding out some hope here. Because remember, I have a whole 6-pack of this to drink. So let's knock it back and see what happens. It's not bad. It does taste a little like it may have begun life as an IPA before becoming a Pilsner. I'm not sure the stages of beer making and how they're related. I know the different kinds. Like I know there's stout and port, or porter, not port something else. Stout, porter, lager. There's all kinds of a lot more than that.
Shandies.
Yeah, shandies and things, and then IPAs and double IPAs and whatever. It has a little bit of the bitterness and a little bit of the sourness, but it's not like an IPA will just slap you with it. Like it just smacks your tongue with this that overpowers everything else. This just tastes like a slightly citrusy, a slightly citrusy beer, which is better than tasting like an IPA. If it tastes like a beer, it tastes like a beer. If it tastes like an IPA, it doesn't taste like a beer, it tastes like an IPA. Which is why it's terrible.
Yeah, the lining people.
Sometimes. This actually would fit pretty well with like a shandy or something like that. It does have a similar taste profile to that. I don't instantly hate it, which is great. I don't instantly hate it. I've had a bit of a cough. It's cold and it's dry outside. I've got like a dry cough from just being outside, so bear with me here. But yeah, I don't instantly hate it. It's not something that's like, wow, that's really good. But it's not like I don't mind this at all. Like this isn't making me upset in any fashion. It's not knocking my socks off, but it doesn't bother me. It's probably not worth the price. This, I think, was $10.99 for the 6-pack, which is what you get a lot of times in the craft beers, or more sometimes. Like some of them are more than that. It gets kind of pricey. Let me check the receipt, actually, because I got the receipt in my pocket. Because I wanted to make sure I told you guys the price. So I held on to the receipt so I could look at it. I'm not going to spread out this whole giant receipt so you can see how much I spent on groceries because it's obscene. I don't want to turn that into like a political thing, like all this stuff on groceries. But let's see, where is it? That's my mayonnaise. $10.99. Yep. Yeah, $10.99 for this. Which honestly, it's a little overpriced because there's nothing real special about it. But it's not I'm not super upset about it because I understand it's in the price profile. I know that that's where craft beer a lot of times is going to sit for a 6-pack, either bottles or cans. And this came in cans, clearly, as you can see there. Yeah, it's a bit more sour than I would have preferred, but it's not bad. I don't mind it. And so would I get this again? Maybe. I don't know if I'd want to spend that price on it though. But yeah, so this is once again Floyds Brewing Speed Castle World Ending Pilsner. It's 5.7, did I say? 5.6% alcohol per volume. And yeah, it is better than the Space Station Middle Finger, which was okay for an IPA, but it was not great. But this is not bad. Again, a little overpriced at $10.99, but you're not going to get away with that. That is the craft beer price area. So you just have to deal with it. But that's it. That's all I got. I'm going to sit here and enjoy this, and I will catch you folks next time. As always, cheers.